Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to Chris's Inked Pens for November 2023. I have chosen 8 pens and 8 inks to start the month off with. I can almost guarantee that I will have more than 8 inked up before the middle of the month when I come back with a progress report, because there's just been a lot of excitement lately. There's been a lot of happy pen mail, and in fact, I'm only responsible for 2 of these pens in terms of obtaining them on my own, the Lamy and the Twisby here. Everything else is new to me. Has been donated to me in the channel, and so much appreciation, and I will put those attributes in the description box. But what I'll do today is, like usual, I'll show you each pen, and then we'll dive into my ink journal, and I'll also show you the ink tiles, you know, as we go for each one, because I'm excited about both the pens and the inks. So first up is the Benu Euphoria. Now, I had just one Benu in my collection when this box of pens came in, and that was my Benu Talisman that I got earlier in the year in the spring. And so I've never tried any of the 3 that are here until now. So this is going to be an exciting month. It came, I think, with a fine nib, and I transferred a broad nib unit onto it. So I just couldn't imagine writing with this one without a broad nib in it. So that's where I'm at with it. But we'll go over the rest of the details when we get in the ink journal. It's gorgeous. It's big. It's a very large pen. You probably noticed it's so much bigger than the Talisman. So, and then next up, I had never tried a real Pilot Prera either. I've tried some knockoffs of it. It keeps looking like my set is crooked. Let me check on that. I tell you, I've been up since 5 this morning, which is normal for me, but I usually get up and read, or I'm very slow. I get up and just, you know, look over my journal, write in my journal. But it was all the fast forward this morning. And then Coco, the minute I turned the camera on, he came out, and I had to put him on the other side of the house because he just absolutely runs into everything. That's my cat, for anybody who doesn't know. So this is my first experience with a Pilot Prera, and I'm such a kind of silly, but the first thing I did was put the CM nib on it. I think it had a medium nib, or I can't remember, but I put that aside, switched it with one of my Pilot Metropolitans, and I put the CM nib on it. Because when I saw the Ivory Prera, I thought, oh, I just love a certain ink family color in an ivory pen. And I also love that small little dainty stub. So anyway, I did that right away. It was probably something that I could have waited and tried the original nib, but I just didn't do it. Okay, so next up is my very first Diplomat Arrow, which is a metal pen. And this one came with an extra fine nib, and that's what we're using, extra fine. And then we'll be looking at the specifics here in a minute, but I love that cap. It has a very satisfying click. Okay, and then next up is the Benu, and this is, I may not say it right, but it says Brioletter. Maybe there's a better pronunciation. And this is Luminous Amber. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this came with a fine nib, and that's what we're writing with. I did see where Gold Spot has the broad nibs. So anyway, that's that. And then next up, I think I had to put these 2 in just to get my feet back on earth a little bit, because there's so much excitement. There's literally many more to try, but I wanted some familiar pens in here to just kind of keep me company, I think. So this is a Lamy Vista, but this is a brand new one. As you can see, it hasn't worn off yet, the logo. The other one that I had for like 7 years is really worn out, and it's stained. And so I'm keeping that as a you know, shimmer ink pen and a staining ink pen. I believe it was Noodler's Rome Burning that stained my section and so on. But I'm going to be more careful with this one. This will be my more, you know, my fancy Lamy Vista. And it has a broad nib on it. And then next up is the Twisby Go in clear. And this one's been stained too, but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to go for that. I think I stained this with Vinta Macopa or one of those, or it might have been Sailor Ackaby, because those are, you know, they can stain, but it doesn't matter. This is just a really awesome nib. So this is this is a case of writing with this pen because it's got the most awesome Twisby broad nib on it. And, you know, it's a comfortable pen to write with. So, okay, next up is the Jhal 100, and I do have one other of these, but this is gorgeous. This is just amazing. It's turquoise, I think is the colorway. Yeah, I meant to make sure I'm saying that on each one. And you can't take the broad nib out of me. I went and found where my favorite Yowo broad nib was, and I put it on here because November's going to be all about letter writing. And some of the ones that aren't broad nibs, I can write with letters with them, and some I can't. So I wanted to make sure I had plenty of letter writing options, at least to start with, because I've got a full list here. Let's see, I've got 5, 6 in my reply pile right now, which is, it's an active pen pal situation right now. So last but not least, oh, this is so beautiful. This is the Benu Scepter 1, and I did put a broad nib in this one. So I think it came with a fine nib. So we're going to have the broad nib experience in this one, and I'm super excited about it. However, I didn't go with the more ruby color in this pen. It's very interesting now in retrospect. I went with a blue because I wanted to use this in December too. See, I'm already making my decisions about December. These pens can really like grab your eye, and you end up making a whole menu of what you're going to do. So anyway, I am very excited. So let's jump right into the Bond Travel Gear 68 GSM Tomoe River Paper Journal, which is almost gone. So that's another subject, but I am currently looking over all the notebooks that I have, and I'll choose one from what I have that I've had some donations, I've had some collecting, and I'm going to move into a new ink journal for next year. But for this year, we'll be able to finish everything. We'll be able to do Ink Vent and December and November in here. So I've counted the pages. We're going to be okay. Okay, so my first ink choice is Robert Oster Tranquility, and it's not an ink match, but it is one of my absolute favorite inks, and I wanted to see it in this pen. So I'm kind of examining my head now because it's like, this looks very green and this looks very teal, but I'm just going to go with it because it's going to be all about the letter writing, so I have to be really excited about the ink as well as the pen. So here we go. This is a very juicy broad nib, and this is Benu Euphoria. Broad nib, pink, Guava. Okay, and then Robert Oster. This ink is getting very low too. That's okay. I have many other teal inks I need to use up. And I'm trying to adopt kind of what Wasky Squirrel is doing, you know, using all in the color family and then, you know, choosing the ultimate favorite. I'm not very good at that because I'm kind of an ink monster, but it's just beautiful. This is a really wet writer, and it's gorgeous to look at. I don't know how I'm going to get any writing done because I'll be looking at it. It's also very faceted, so kind of similar to the Talisman. It's got something to occupy you tactile wise too at the same time. So it's very, very pretty. Okay, so now next up, have a kind of a mess here, is the Pilot Prera with a little CM nib, cursive medium, I'm not sure, something like that. And I did choose Monteverde Canyon Rust for this. I have a little bit that I'm using up. It was a large bottle. In fact, you know, it was the full-size diamine bottle, and I moved it into, Monteverde bottle, and I moved it into a diamine 30 mil, and it's got like half. So I'm actually making progress on this ink. It's one that I really love. So you get that nice fine line sideways, and then you get a much wider, you know, downstroke with this. I just love it. Pilot Prera CM. Ivory is the color of this pen. Oh, I could post it because there's no, you know, there's no problem with posting this. It's lightweight enough. I don't post very many pens. Monteverde Canyon Rust. This ink has great flow. It's really pretty. I did notice that it's looking very brown coming out of the nib. And I remember it more reddish, more rust colored. So I think my ink is really, like, in this 7 years has kind of gotten old, but I'm not sure. It doesn't smell bad. There's nothing wrong with it. But I am kind of wondering, because I do distinctly remember a more reddish look to it. Reddish orange, kind of a rusty look, but who knows? It could just be my eyes. You never know. Okay, next up, I put Cross Black, which is my favorite black ink, in the Diplomat Arrow. And it's a cold day, and so the body of the pen feels cold, but not too bad on the section here. So it's an extra fine, but it's got a super smooth nib. Diplomat Aero Turquoise is the color, and it is extra fine. Very nice. I can see this in my planner, and I'm trying out every pen that comes through that has a extra fine or fine nib in my Hobonichi to finally maybe settle on one for that. So this is going to be the one for November to try out. So Cross Black, just a really nice ink, which I understand and kind of know how it does. So that'll help me, being that this is a new to me pen, completely new. It's a nice big nib. I have a lot to learn about this pen model. I really hadn't looked into this at all. Made in Germany, very, very nice. I do have Diplomat Magnums, the little plastic lightweight pens that they make. So, okay, so next up is the Benu Brioletter, something, Luminous Amber. And I put Pilot Iroshizuku Horsetail Brown, or, well, I can't pronounce that. So this has got some ink resistant, water resistance, yeah, ink resistance. And this is a fine nib, and it's nice and flowy, you know, smooth and flowy. So we've got Benu. So one of my feet can even touch the floor with all these new pens. B-R-I-O-L-E, new to me. Luminous, well, let's put fine here. Oh boy, I wanted a Pilot ink for this, and I love brown inks anyway, because I just wanted to see, okay, you know, will it flow? How will it do? I know the ink, and I don't know the pen yet, so this was a great choice, I think. Roshizuku. I just should always put horsetail brown. I can pronounce that. This is one of their discontinued inks, but I was lucky enough to purchase a bottle. Okay, so such a sparkly, beautiful pen. Oh my goodness. All right. Next up, we've got a couple of old favorite pens. Lamy Vista. I put Lamy Athena, which is a very dark gray. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come across almost black. But I'm thinking on the papers I'm going to use for letter writing, I'll get some nice complexity. We'll see. It's just a gorgeous, really, really free-flowing ink. Lamy Vista, broad nib. And I like using the black and silver converter in mine. I do not, it's a pet peeve of mine that, though, that they don't use the little side plugs with this one. It just plugs in. It does stay, but I would prefer that they would create one that had the little retainer, you know, plugs on the side. I think you know what I mean if you use Lamys. But I like the looks of this one. I just really feel better about the stability of the red and silver ones that plug in to that. So if Lamy's listening, which I know they're not, but if they were, I would really like them to make the little plugs for this one. Okay, Lamy Athena, but I noticed that it felt nice and stable, and I was able to draw it up from the bottle, you know, without having to use both hands and be real super careful, so it worked. Athena, okay. And we will see how that, oh, look at that. Yeah, that lightens considerably when you, oh, I thought I had gotten ink down here, but it's a sticker down at the bottom. I thought I'd made a mess already. Give me time. So yeah, that's just really nice and wet and flowy. I like it. Lamy broad nib, one of my favorite nibs. Okay, so then we have the Twisby Go, and interestingly, the Twisby broad nibs are not my favorite, but this one is, and the other one that I got on a Go is. They must have had a run where they they made them more rounded, more, you know, broad, because I'm just crazy about it. I haven't messed with them yet because I've kept them on here, but I actually am thinking about putting them on my Twisby Ecos because the Ecos that I have don't have as broad a broad nib. So this is the Twisby EcoGo in clear with a broad nib. I think I probably said that 30 times, but and I put Pelikan Edelstein Star Ruby. Beautiful, beautiful pinky red ink. Oh gosh, well, it's pink, I think. I'm pretty sure it's pink, but it comes across sometimes as red too, so gorgeous. Twisby Eco, no. Where's that water brush? That's why I have a water brush. This is my eraser, because no, it's a Twisby Go. It'll be pretty, and nobody cares about mistakes if they're pretty, I guess. Okay, Twisby Go, broad, clear, with Pelikan, Edelstein, Star Ruby. This is a nice fire hose, just like I like. Okay. Just, yes, okay. This will probably be the first one I pick up for letter writing. Maybe not, because we've got the beauty of the Euphoria and the last pen there, the scepter and everything. And actually, I don't remember a month when I was this excited about everything. So this is pretty cool. Okay, so next up, this is a Jhal 100 in turquoise, and it's gorgeous. And I put my favorite broad number 6 nib in it, so it's like you can't really beat that, I don't think. And I put Diamine Florida Blue. I can't tell you why, but I wanted a bright blue that was dark enough to really be seen, and that one came to mind right away. So Jhal 100 broad Yowo. The pen is turquoise, I think. I don't know what gave me that idea. I must have looked it up. I did a lot of looking up because I didn't know much about what I had. Okay, so Diamine, Florida Blue. Okay. Not necessarily a November ink, but it's a beautiful mood lifter, so that's important. Okay. And then last but not least by any means is the Benu Scepter 1. Shiny, beautiful. I can see several different colors that would look great in this, but I decided to try this ink, the Sailor 50 States Illinois, which was also a pen friend gift. And it's a gorgeous, it's bright, but it's also dark blue. Let me see. We do need to make sure that you can see that bottom part there where I'm going to put this. And this has a broad nib on it. And this is Benu Scepter. Oops. Did I run into some cat hair? Most likely. Yep, there's a big old cat hair on the end. Oh, this is not the pen's fault. Coco made a he made a run through here just a few minutes ago. Okay, well that's too bad. Makes it look. I'm gonna put cat. Okay, so we know that this is not a burping. It's a cat hair. Okay, broad nib. I was looking for a colorway, but I believe the Scepter 1 identifies this pen. However, I am so new to these 3 Benu pens that I'm not sure. So I'll be looking into that. And this is Sailor 50 States, Illinois. Whoops, am I going to misspell? I hope not. Okay, I'm going to make my X. Oh, I forgot to do one for Florida Blue. Let me do that. I like to do a little kind of a smear test just as a how wet is this ink kind of a thing. I don't have much of a space on my fingers left to do that, but yeah, that's also a very nice wet, juicy, broad nib. So this is a very, very gorgeous lineup here. Let's see. You know, looking at these pens, I would have to be dead not to get excited about all this. I mean, it's really exciting. At the same time, the experience that I get when writing with the Twisby Go, with that just gorgeous Pelikan Edelstein Star Ruby, you know, what I get as results in a letter is just as nice as in the Benu, you know. So it's never fails to really be a teaching kind of thing when I'm writing, because yeah, beautiful pen, expensive pen, cheaper pen, but you know, produces results like that. It's really amazing. So I'm just blessed for, you know, all of the pens and inks that I have to play with. And let's go to the library and we'll see if I can remember the things I wanted to mention. Meet you there. There, here I am in the library. I find myself without notes or anything. I didn't even make an index card today, but we're expecting company, so I wanted to get the video done before that happens. And there's just all kinds of other things that I'm trying to do. And today is Halloween Day as I'm filming this. So it's the last day of the month, but I always prepare my pens to have them ready to start on the 1st, you know, at least a day, maybe 2 sometimes ahead. So my major emphasis, like I said, is going to be in pen pal writing, and I'll even be starting Christmas cards in November. So just to make sure, because sometimes I wait too long and then I forget that if they're going overseas, they're going to take quite a bit longer. So I've got that too. And yeah, oh, it wouldn't be a Chris's video without some talk about the weather. And it's gotten way cooler. Let's see, I think we were 48 this morning. There's quite a bit of wind. So our wind chills have been down maybe not as low this morning. Yesterday, the wind chill was 33. So during the weekend, it was 90, literally. It was warm. Like, I wasn't complaining, though, about the heat, because with the overnight temperatures down in the mid 70s, it wasn't so bad as it had been during the summer, but it was hot. And then, so we went down like 40 degrees basically at once. And that's just what Texas likes to do, I guess. Just, okay, there you go, 90. And then the next day, okay, wind and rain and cold. And it's like, wow. Got to get used to it. Got to dress differently and everything. But this isn't a complaint because it's such a relief from what we had for 4 full months. So, you know, I'm journaling. I'm still in the Odyssey notebook for my journaling. It's got beautiful 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and it's ruled. And I really, really enjoy this notebook. I probably, let's see, I started it in July, and I'm about halfway. That's not impressive, and yet that's quite a bit of writing just since July, August, September, 4 months, halfway. It's good, though. I was trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to mention. Just slightly distracted because poor Coco, I'm going to have to go and talk to him. He went to bed now, but he was so excited about running underneath the camera, and everything just went flying, so poor guy. And he's having to adjust because Princess is inside a lot more. She gets cold. She wants to go out, and then she'll realize how cold it is, and she just has to come right back in. So yesterday he was pretty testy because he just wasn't used to having to get along with her all day. And she was also kind of wondering what to do. She was wandering from room to room trying to find another window or another space. So I'm going to move some things around and see. I don't know. I don't remember too many winters where winter happened in late October. It maybe got colder faster, but we had a longer hot summer. So she'll just have to have a few more places with, you know, I put some blankets and try to make it more appealing so they can kind of spread out. Because he's used to having the run of the house the whole day while she's outside. And then she comes in and eats supper, and sometimes she would go back out. But most of the time she'd stay in after their supper and just stay and watch me read and everything. So I think that's about all for today. I think there's a lot more things that I want to talk about, but I really like keeping separate videos whenever I can so that we can still find them later, because it's really hard if I stack too much into one of these. But those eight pens are very exciting to me, and the inks too. It's just, I think that I have enough pens and inks and notebooks to not even blink for another year, maybe even 2. Certainly enough pens for 2 years, but definitely even the disposable items, I'm well stocked, and I'm very appreciative. And I'm thinking that to be able to focus on what I have and enjoy it and shop my own shelves is really the way to go. So I will see you in the comments and out and about on YouTube in general, because I'd like to try to catch up with some of my friends who have lots of videos out that I haven't been able to watch yet. And so I'm going to do that. And then I'll also see you on the next video here, but I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. So I'll see you soon, and definitely we'll see you in the middle of November with a progress report on these pens, and you'll get to see how many more that I inked up between now and then. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you in the comments. Thank you, and bye for now.